Hello my beautiful friends, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to make a quick intro before this video because this granola recipe was actually a part of a vlog, but then it was really long and then I decided to cut this video into two parts, and so this is only gonna be a video all about this granola recipe. I hope you love it. And yeah, I just wanted to make this quick intro for you to understand what the video is all about. So let's just get into the recipe. So this granola is a recipe that is on Niomi Smart Eat Smart recipe book, which is really good. It's a vegan cookbook. I am not mainly vegan. I've been vegan for a while, but then it didn't really work out for me. But this granola recipe is amazing. I've been making this granola recipe since I got the book. I think it's been over 4 years, I'm not sure, and everyone in my house simply loves it. Whenever I make it, it's gone in like 2 days. It's crazy, and that's actually the reason why I brought everything to make it over here so that I could eat it before everyone else eats it, because it's just gone in a very quick way. And so for this recipe, what you will need is 300 grams of rolled oats, 100 grams of quinoa rinsed, the raw quinoa, 30 grams of coconut flakes, 25 grams of desiccated coconut, 30 grams of raw cacao nibs, unsweetened almond milk or any other non-dairy milk that you have over there, maple syrup or honey, 30 grams of raw cacao powder, and some coconut oil as well. Before you get started with the actual recipe, make sure that you have all of the ingredients measured and weighed, because then everything's gonna get easier, because then it's just putting stuff in a bowl, and putting it in the oven. So make sure that you measure everything beforehand, before you start. I'm just gonna separate the dry ingredients first, and then I'm gonna move on to the wet bit. So for example, this dark chocolate, raw cacao powder, wet. Just gonna put it out aside here. Okay. Oh, really important for the quinoa. I know I do have a lot of plastic here, and I do try to be plastic conscious, but I just have to work with what I got. We actually reuse these plastic things, which is good. So for the quinoa, that's very important. So quinoa, they usually have, especially when you cook them, they usually have like an earthy taste to them. So if you don't clean them, at least for a bit, they will get like kind of earthy, and they're not completely clean, like when they get out of their bags. So it's really important to at least get them a bit wet with water and kind of clean them with just a bit of water, so you get a bit of the dirt out. Don't do that. Okay, so now that we have our quinoa at least cleaned and rinsed, now I'm gonna start pouring everything, all of the dry ingredients, into a big bowl. Make sure you have a big bowl, because there are a lot of oats and we're gonna mix everything together, so make sure that you have a lot of space for your ingredients. This is the biggest bowl that I have here, but usually back home in São Paulo I do use like a massive one, but this will have to do. So we're gonna start mixing and stirring together the oats, the coconut flakes, the quinoa, the desiccated coconut, and also the cacao nibs. Make sure you're not adding the raw cacao powder, because it is part of the wet ingredients. Okay, so as you can see, all of the ingredients are over here. We have the oats, the quinoa, the cacao nibs, desiccated coconut, and coconut flakes. And now we're just gonna mix and stir everything together, and then we're gonna move on to our wet ingredients. One thing I did forget to mention, and I also did forget to do, is the oven. Preheated to 170. I always forget to preheat it, but let's do that now. Okay, preheating. Then let's stir this baby up. As you can see, it's a very chocolatey and coconutty granola. And then the thing about it is that you can add more or less of the things that you like more. So for example, I love cacao nibs and I do love the crunchy of the quinoa. So whenever I'm making this granola, I make sure to add a bit more of the cacao nibs and a bit more of the quinoa as well. And I do love the coconut flakes. So maybe, I think I'm just gonna add a bit more of those because I'm feeling that they are too oaty for my liking. And it's the same with the wet ingredients. So we're gonna start making that now actually, but then you can see that if you want more of a sweet taste or if you have a more sweet tooth, then you can add more maple syrup or more honey. So yeah, let's go do that wet ingredients now. Then we're gonna grab a small saucepan and we're gonna start heating our coconut oil over a low heat until it melts. For the honey, make sure that you still have some coconut oil. This is a very big tip. Whenever you're putting on the honey or the maple syrup, make sure that you still have some coconut oil in your spoon, so then the honey is gonna glide from your spoon to the pan loads easier, like this. Then we're gonna add our almond milk and our cacao powder and mix it for a bit. So you're making sure that everything is well mixed and you can see this gooey and chocolatey kind of wet mixture. And then we're gonna pour the wet mixture into the bowl and stir until everything is fully coated. What I like to do is I like to pour a bit of the wet mixture into this dry one. I like to mix it a bit until everything is coated, and then I like to add the rest. So I kind of add in like 2 goes. I pour it in 2 goes instead of just one, because then I make sure that everything is really well mixed and really well coated. And then once you have this kind of very chocolatey consistency in the oats and in all of your ingredients, and everything is looking more brownish, more like chocolatey, then I go and grab my baking tray. I pour everything into this baking tray and I press it with the back of my spoon for a bit, and because I think that this makes it a bit more crunchy when it goes inside of the oven. And then when I have the baking tray like this and it's all ready to go, then I just put it in the oven for 30 minutes. But what I do is I actually put it for 15 minutes and then I take it off, I mix it up, and then I put it back on for another 15 minutes. So you make sure that everything is crispy and very crunchy, rather than like just the top bit is really crispy and crunchy, but then the bottom one is like soft and moist. It seems like a lot of granola, but it's actually not, because it's so good. And if your arm is hurting after all of the stirs, that's completely normal. Mine is really tired, but now I'm gonna tackle those dishes. So the granola bipped over here, and Let's see. It's really good. Okay, so the 15 minutes are up. The last 15 minutes. I'm gonna take the granola out and I'm gonna leave it to cool over here. Make sure you do leave it to cool because that's super important. If you just take it out of the oven and you put it in a recipient, since it's really hot, it's gonna get warm and it's gonna get moist and it's gonna get really like non-crunchy, and that's not what we want for a granola. So make sure you leave it to cool. I freaking love this granola so much because it's chocolatey but not too sweet, and it's crunchy because of the oats and because of the quinoa and also because of the flakes. It's, for me, it's the perfect granola. I haven't found a granola more perfect than this one. So I'm just gonna let this cook over here. I'm gonna practice some yoga and then I'm gonna get back to putting it inside of a recipient. If you still want it a bit more crunchy, you can put it a bit more in the oven, but I find that the times that I did that, because I thought they needed a bit more, I don't know, a bit more toastiness to them, I ended up screwing the granola because it then burned. So yeah, if you want, you can give it a try. If not, like this, it's perfect. Okay, sorry for my face. I've just finished 1 hour 15 of yoga, and now the granola has finally cooled down, and so now it's ready for us to store it. It does look like there's a lot of granola here, and it probably does if you live by yourself or if you only have one other person sharing this with you, but when you're in 5 in a house, it's not that much. Yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I hope that you try it at home. It's really good. Today is Friday here, so I made this on Saturday, so it's actually it's finished. The granola is already gone, so I'll need to do it all over again for my family, because we just love this granola so much. It's just 1 week for the entire pot. It's crazy, and sometimes it actually ends sooner than 1 week. But yeah, so I hope that you love this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already for more inspiration on lifestyle and wellness and self-development as well. I'll see you again very soon in another video, and I hope you have a very lovely and inspiring day. Bye!